With little more than pride on the line for the Bloods, they visited the Woodville Oval early last Saturday with a bevy of players back from college football. On any other Saturday morning, the extra talent would have made a significant difference to their performance. The problem was, the Eagles were also celebrating the inclusion of players returning from college. Any plans by coach Greg Mellor to restrict the Eagles' scoring opportunities turned to dust when his boys kicked into the breeze in the first quarter. The Eagles played fluent, fast-paced football, and when the wind dropped after half-time, they already had a commanding 5-goal lead. There was no coming back for West. The Eagles had an agenda. With the Roosters not playing until 5 o'clock, a win for Shane Grimm's Eagles would keep the chance of a top 5 finish alive, at least until 5 o'clock anyway. Doing his best to keep that chance alive was Patrick Sinor from the Henley Sharks Football Club. In just his third game at this level for 2011, Patrick nailed it in round 22. His 37 disposals earned him the best on ground tag, and it should be noted that every single one of his 17 handballs found its target. The Maccas Cup MVP for the round came from this match. It went to 18-year-old midfielder Jack Muirhead from the Flinders Park Football Club. The selectors were impressed with Jack's leadership and decision-making. The statisticians were impressed with his possession count: 40 disposals, 7 marks, 7 inside 50s and 2 goals. Nice work, Jack. Also scoring for the Eagles was Daniel Blythe from the Central York Cougars. Daniel is one of a swag of players the Eagles brought across from the York Peninsula this year. He scored 4 goals from his 11 kicks on Saturday morning in yet another display of accuracy. No behinds from Daniel's boot. West did well in the tackling department, but over in goal scoring there wasn't a lot to cheer about. Bill Keenan was the only multiple goal scorer with 2 goals. Cameron Long at centre half-back had a tough day at the office, and he did well to bring the ball back out from 50 on 4 occasions. But the day belonged to the home team, and that final spot was still up for grabs for the rest of the day. At Woodville Oval, it was the Eagles by 75 points. It's not been a pretty year for the Dogs, with just 5 wins for the year, and that's 2 more than last year. They've only beaten 2 teams all season, the Panthers and the Eagles. So what about Norwood at the parade? Well, no, that was never going to happen. At the pointy end of the season, with third place Sturt on the bye and unable to defend their ladder position, it was easy pickings for the Redlegs. One thing you can say about Norwood is that they're good. Very good. This was win number 12 for the season, and they're looking like formidable opponents come finals time. With or without James Aish, this young Norwood side has looked sharp and decisive. Well, actually, they're definitely sharper with him. The Aish family name was held high in round 22 with 26 disposals and 2 goals. James had little trouble finding the ball, and his aerial game was intact too, with 4 marks for the match. But one man doth not make a team, and the legs were also well served by Dylan Harding. With some time in the reserves for Norwood and some time playing in the Adelaide Hills, Dylan was much appreciated this weekend in the under-18s. His 14 kicks and 15 handballs were useful. His 3 goals were gratefully received by the home fans. The win hoisted Norwood into 3rd place with just the Panthers to play to finish off the minor round. Sturt dropped to 4th. At Norwood Oval, it was Norwood by 84 points. The blockbuster for the round was at the Alberton Oval. These 2 teams fought out the inaugural under-18 grand final back in 2009. Back then, the match was expected to be a tight tussle between the 2 outstanding leaders of the competition, but what we got was a demonstration of the strength and might of the Glenelg Football Club, the Tigers, winners by over 10 goals. So in round 22, the neutral fans were hoping that the first versus second contest of 2011 might be a little closer than the 10 goals of 2009. And strictly speaking, it was. The margin? 58 points. Well, at least it wasn't 10 goals. And it wasn't a walkover. The Magpies started well, and after a high-scoring first quarter, it was poured up by 8 points. The second term was just as tight. Glenelg aimed for James Weir up front, but they couldn't find him often enough. At the long break, the Magpies had eked out a 14-point lead. This one could go down to the wire, but no, it didn't. The Tigers came out after the long break, all guns blazing. Their ball handling was cleaner, their passing was superior, and their team play was outstanding. Gibson Turner and Wade Hancock were scoring the goals, and at 3-quarter time the Magpies were stunned, 27 points behind and with their game plan in tatters. The final term was exactly the same as the third. Glenelg had all the possession and the Magpies were forced to follow. And when they did attack, they were all too often thwarted by Glenelg's secret weapon at the back, Sam Underwood. The 16-year-old from the Foss Camden Football Club will celebrate his 17th birthday in grand final week, and judging by this performance, it could be a busy week for Sam. Tynan Keeley may have been on the losing side this week, but he enjoyed himself anyway. 5 goals from 10 kicks was a career best for Tynan. The Tigers are sitting it out today on the bye, while Port play the Eagles to secure the minor premiership. The Tigers did their bit last week, winners by 58 points over Port. The final match of the round at the Prospect Oval would have had a significant impact upon two teams, but only one of them took part in this game. As fifth-placed North Adelaide took on the visiting Panthers, the Eagles watched on anxiously. Only a win to South would keep the Eagles' season alive and give them any hope of playing finals football. The Panthers' season, on the other hand, was dead and buried a long time ago. With just 2 wins all year, the wooden spoon was the only certainty down south. What the Panthers have been trying to avoid all year is the surpassing of North Adelaide's 2009 record of 2,536 points scored against them in a season. The Panthers entered round 22 with just 2,200 points against their name. They would have to concede 356 points in the final 2 rounds to eclipse North's record. Maybe Callington could manage it, but not South. They only conceded 139 points last Saturday. North's record looks safe. Playing the bottom side, North didn't look like a finals contender. Their defensive play was second-rate, to say the least. Early on, it was South doing all the work, and it was starting to show on the scoreboard. The Panthers were 3 points up at quarter time, and the Eagles' season was still alive. But the second and third quarters would prove decisive, with the Roosters finally taking control. They got away to a 10-goal lead by three-quarter time. By then, 5th spot on the under-18 ladder was decided. The Eagles stopped watching and the Roosters stopped playing. The margin remained the same until the end of the game. It wasn't a game to get excited about, but there were some standout performances. Ross Trevor's Joshua Simpson, for one. Josh had a good day out with 17 kicks and 8 very effective hand passes, bringing the ball into South's 50-metre zone 6 times. A mini-draft nominee and now part of the 2011 AIS Academy, Josh has a secure future in football ahead of him. The Roosters have groomed him well. So the final 5 was sewn up under lights at the Prospect Oval, and it was North Adelaide filling that last final spot, winners by 61 points over South.